Here comes McBride then. As in will come Tymal Mills. He's got a man out at deep mid-wicket and long on McBride as he goes back to the top of his mark. Start again, here we go, he bowls and Bairstow launches him back down the ground. Is that a flush 6? It goes into the advertising sponge, but I think they might have to check that. Here comes he has been defiant as ever, Jonny Bairstow. First ball and he's laid into the off spinner. He's got a man out. He means business here at the Ageas Bowl. Brian as he is England's opener. As Alex Wolff has just signalled to get that checked out. It is 4 down the ground by probably only a few millimetres. It goes into the advertising sponge, but I think they might have to check that. Goes again. We'll skip before he bowls. Bairstow defending. Defiant as ever, Jonny Bairstow. Looking to push that leg side, but then had to stop in his tracks as just held in the wicket. Brian has the ball back with him. Brian as he is England's opener. As Alex Wolff has just Bairstow crouches. Checks out. It is back tap. Now still advances again, and this time he's hit it even longer to the same area, up and over, long off. This time it is a 6, and that is definite as he signals for 50 before he bowls. And it's the equal fastest 50 for an England player. 51 from 21 deliveries. Jonny Bairstow, 8 4s and 2 6s in and amongst that with a strike rate of 242. England go to 69 for 1 in the 8th over.
This has been the one-day cricket we've been used to seeing from England the last few years. Jonny Bairstow's had the bit between his teeth. All innings, he's come out all guns blazing. Taking a real liking to Craig Young, and now the off-spin of Andy McBride. McBride took his wicket in the first ODI LBW with Bairstow just prodding forward. None of that today. Jonny Bairstow's coming at the off-spinner. Excellent innings so far, 8 4s and 2 6s.
Bairstow advances again this time, pushes to long on as McBride is on the chase, collects the ball as he swivels on the ground, and Bairstow will go to 52, 70 for 1 then, England needing 143 more. And it's the fastest as Vince takes a look at the pitch. Such a destructive player, Jonny Bairstow. I saw him quite a lot in the IPL last year, batting with David Warner as Vince is on the back foot, guiding that out to long on, wristily, comes through for 1. Bairstow says, I'm going to hand the strike back to you, Jonny, because you're in full flow. 12 runs then from this over, 1 ball left, 71 for 1.
Yeah, you're right, that partnership with David Warner. One thing that struck me was how fit they were. The heat of India, they were running like you wouldn't believe in between the wickets, as well as clearing the ropes with ease.
As McBride bowls a bit flatter and shorter as Bairstow works it to mid-wicket. No run at the end of the over then. 8 overs have been bowled here in the second innings. 71 for 1, Ireland making 212 in their 50 overs. And England are 71 for 1, requiring 142 now. And with the batting lineup as it is, you would think that they should do this at a canter. But can Ireland produce something? Can they break this partnership? Can they remove Bairstow? He is a danger man at the moment.
Yeah, they need to remove Jonny Bairstow very quickly if they stand any chance of winning this game. We'll see another bowling change, I think. It's going to be Curtis Camphor, if my eyes don't deceive me.
Yes, you're right.
After a brilliant performance, second brilliant performance with the bat in as many games in his international career. He's going to hopefully come and do a job with the ball. Good to see Ireland attacking. They've got 2 slips into James Vince, so know that they still need wickets if they are to stand a chance of not losing this series 2-0. Going back behind, sorry.
Camphor bowls to Vince, who misses one down the leg side, looking to flick it leg side, and it's stopped by Tucker diving to his left. 68 from 87 deliveries, Curtis Camphor in the first innings, again having to navigate his side over a tricky spot as he hustles forwards now. Bowls. Vince guides to point, no run. Lights on here at the Ageas Bowl. Very low, the lights here. And grey skies in the distance behind the trees as Kampfer makes the walk back to the top of his mark. 2 slips in position for him as he comes in again now, fiercely bowls. Vince drives to cover, no run. So a period of quiet in this innings. 3 dot balls, Timal.
You haven't seen that so far. James Vince, I don't want to say struggling, but obviously not as free-flowing as Jonny Bairstow. Vince is 16 not out, faced 25 balls. Jonny Bairstow striking at 226 for his 52. So chalk and cheese slightly, but no real concern for England's number 3, James Vince.
Vince bowled! Middle stump gone! Lights flashing as Curtis Kampfer punches the air and now slaps hands with the rest of his teammates. James Vince has a casual look back to that uprooted middle stump. And just as you were saying, Timal, Vince goes for 16.
Just as I say, no real worry for James Vince. He loses his middle stump. It's a really good delivery from Curtis Kampfer, who can't really seem to do any wrong at the moment in international cricket. Back-to-back 50s. The wicket of James Vince. That ball seamed back in from the right arm over bowler, bowling to the right-handed batsman. Through the gate of James Vince, looking to push through the offside. James Vince gets another start, 16 off 26 balls, but he's got to go now. More joy for Curtis Kampfer, who's taken to international cricket like a duck to water.
He's absolutely loving it. Just his second game playing for Ireland, 21 years of age. Discovered a couple of years ago playing in South Africa. Qualifies for Ireland on the back of an Irish passport. His grandmother is from Ireland. So Tom Banton out in the middle now. Eoin Morgan will probably bat at 4, although he did put himself down the order in that opening game. And he now punches gloves with Jonny Bairstow revealing his red hair. He takes his helmet off. Lots of pace. So 84 miles an hour, I think that delivery was.
Yeah, it's good pace. Enough to hurry the batsman. He's not a tall man, Kampfer, so kind of skiddy pace. Doesn't get huge amounts of bounce, but that ball definitely did nip back in. And this is a huge opportunity for Tom Banton. Coming in at number 4 again, Eoin Morgan sliding himself down the order. It's an opportunity for Banton to deliver in the 50 over field, what we've seen him do so many times in T20 cricket.
Well, he's been out to Kampfer before, not just in the opening game, but in under-19s cricket. Here comes Kampfer with lots of energy running towards him. Banton pats it into the wicket and to the bowler off the front foot. A good length delivery outside the off stump. As Ireland get the breakthrough that they want. It's not the man that they want though, Jonny Bairstow, who's made it to 52 off 23 deliveries at the other end. But a bit of respite for what was all-out attack from him. Kampfer bowls, Banton drives, parried up by cover, diving to his left, and Point does the rest in throwing the ball in. So a wicket maiden in the 9th over, 71 for 2. England need 142 from 41 overs. Bairstow 52 and Banton yet to get off the mark. A few words from you, Timal. Then it'll be Kevin Howes.
Yeah. Curtis Kampfer started his international career with such aplomb. I'm sure England might be seeing if there's an English passport in there somewhere down the line. But no, Ireland look like they've got a real player here. And Kampfer, both with bat and ball. Shrewd acquisition from head coach Graham Ford to bring him over from South Africa. Repaying the faith straight away. Player they can certainly build around for the future no matter what happens in this series. The off spinner is going to continue. He comes in. Ball's nudged out to the man at the deep mid-wicket boundary, and there'll be 1 run.
Now stop it, just stop it. First you're trying to take my county scoreboard off me, now you're trying to take the commentary off me, just because I couldn't plug myself in quickly.
I'm just picking up, just helping you out.
Jason Gillespie's on. What's it been like over the last 48 hours? Well, he's been a bit sloppy actually, Jason. I think you're going to have to give him a few extra yards of training tomorrow.
I'll be there, don't worry. 14 wickets at Hove today.
Here at the Ageas Bowl, next delivery leaning back and thumping that one into the offside for no run is Banton. 72 for 2 is the score in the 10th over. This next ball is worked onto the onside by McBride. He's bowling in his second over. And England needing 140 from here, from 243 balls, all under control still at the moment, despite the very early loss of Jason Roy. And then Vince, bold. We need to say he was bold this time, okay, everybody? For 16. McBride about to bowl to Johnny Bairstow. Bairstow just wanted to get on with it tonight. He's 53 and he swipes that again through the gap, through mid-wicket. He's in his determined mood, is Johnny, tonight, and unfortunately from an Ireland point of view they're being made to pay for it as well. That's the 12th at 4. We've seen a couple of sixes this evening in this England innings as well. Takes it up to 77 for 2. 2 balls left of the 10th over.
Yeah, you get the feeling that Johnny Bairstow doesn't want to waste this last over of the power play. Only 2 fielders, of course, allowed outside of the 30-yard circle.
McBride again with his spin. In bowls, John has to just content himself with pushing that back up to the bowler. Well, the floodlights are on. It looks pretty ominous cloud-wise behind the trees there, far left. However, right-hand side, sun is shining very brightly, right in our faces. Pushed up towards mid-off, but doesn't get past the fielder, so there will be no run. The end of that over, from which 6 runs came, including that boundary, so 10 over 77 for 2 is the score. Jamal Mills of Sussex preparing for T20, which is not too far off. We're on August the 1st. Yeah, competition starts August the 27th.
Yep, indeed. So under a month now, which is exciting. You know, obviously I've not played any competitive cricket since the PSL, which was, we flew home mid-March, so it's a little while away now. So yeah, look, I can't wait to get playing some proper cricket. Hopefully there'll be a few spectators allowed in by then come September, but obviously we don't know. Might be unlikely with what's happened in the last couple of days, unfortunately, but needs must. And even just being here now and watching competitive cricket, it's great to be back.
Camphor in and bowls to Banton, inside edge, and the keeper goes to his left and he goes straight past him, runs down to the boundary rope. Well, Camphor has got Banton out twice in 3 deliveries coming into this, and that could very nearly have become 3 in 6, but it's 4 more to the total. The score moves up to 81 for 2 in the 11th over.
That was not far away from being both bowled and caught behind. The keeper diving to his left, almost was able to get it. I'm not sure if it would have quite carried, but it was close. It certainly just missed the off stump by a whisker. Curtis Camphor making things happen.
Oh, what a cricketer Ireland have found, I think, here. One guided down, making me choke. Gets a single. That was a bit mischievous of you, though, whether England will be. but on the quality we've seen,
he looks very good.
An exciting cricketer.
Yeah, and that's great. I'm sure, just looking forward into future years, he's only 21. Ireland will be desperate to find some players just to build around for the next 3, 5, 7 years. And it's certainly batting at 7 or 8, coming on first change. If you've got somebody who can continue this quality of performance, they've certainly got someone there.
Because what he can do is he can perhaps take with him, actually it's a bit rude towards Balbirnie to say take with him, but you've got people like Balbirnie and others. They can have been called a no ball by the third umpire, so it's a free hit, but he can take the Balbirnies and a couple of others with him in that group as well. You should say build around them.
100%.
So this now is a free hit. Player sent hither and thither. The start of this 11th over, at least now after this should be legally 2 balls of it, and that's been hammered hard and firm along the ground by Bairstow. Bowled it full, so it's just going to be a single. It could have been worse, all the way up there to the long on boundary. How do you think Camphor came back there? Did okay, didn't make it easy for Johnny to clear his legs and get it out of the way, did he?
Yeah, no, I'm sure Bairstow would have been licking his lips there, a free hit, but So a little bit of T20 skills in there. Got the wide Yorker in pretty much. Bairstow looking to drag it back to the leg side. Just smacked it down to Kevin O'Brien. I think it is down at long on.
Bairstow's moved on to 58. It's Banton back on strike, so it's this little duel again, which Banton will drive this one more defensively than anything into the offside to remain on 6. Camphor versus Banton. It's hardly Alan Donald versus Mike Atherton, but it is a duel. Born of their under-19 days, which continues here right now. And of course, if it needs to be said, Camphor under-19s for South Africa, now wearing the green of Ireland. Right, I'm in and bowls and drill. That's a lovely shot from Banton. On the onside of straight, flies along the ground. It's a boundary, and Banton moves to 10 and takes the score up to 88 for 2. 2 balls left to the 11th over.
Yeah, it's a really nice shot from Tom Banton. Ball angling into off stump. Just plays a classical on drive. Back past the Johnny Bairstow, back past the umpire. Runs away from us. It's the boundary for 4.
Next delivery, back in towards Banton this time. Maybe a slower ball. Fastest England ODI hundreds. We'll keep an eye on this. What's Bairstow now? 58 off 28 balls. Josh Butler with a 46 ball century in Dubai against Pakistan. Josh Butler with a 50 ball century against Pakistan in Southampton. And that was last year. Next ball to Banton. Can't get it past backward point, so the shout of no from either Banton or Bairstow. But it's the end of that over, so Camphor's bowled 2 overs, 1 maiden 1 for 11. 88 for 2 after 11 overs. England need 125 more from 234 deliveries. Whether Johnny fancies having a go at that, who knows? He certainly, as you say, wanted to make the most of the opening power play, those first 10 overs. Whether or not he'll readjust or not. I mean, 2 wickets lost. It's not a disaster in terms of the wickets down, so he's still got a bit of licence, hasn't he, to carry on just playing his game?
Yeah, of course, but a pretty mediocre total to try and chase. Obviously better than the first ODI, but be interesting to see if he tries to get there in a hurry, or if he then, as you say, moves down the gears a little bit, ticks over and plays the kind of the classical one-day innings.
McBride to Bairstow. He uses his feet just to work the ball onto the onside. They'll get a single. Bairstow to 59 from 29 deliveries.
I know Brendan McCullum spoke about it was more T20 cricket, but he's a big believer of if you get off to a flyer, you continue and you try and go huge, and you try and or score that 100 off 40 balls or whatever it might be. Whereas a lot of guys, they'll get off to a flyer and then they'll then just tick around when the field's spread. But Brendan McCullum, being the ultra aggressive captain, ultra aggressive player, he definitely speaks of, if you find yourself 30 or 15 balls, try and score 100 off 50 balls.
McBride in now to Banton, forces him back, pushed onto the onside, though no run. That's all part of the general ethos, isn't it, these days of limited overs cricket? Part of the Owen Morgan theory, who was big mates with Brendan McCullum, of go big, make it big.
100%.
McBride bowls, driven straight back to the bowler. No run. And, this expression of no fear of failure, that if it doesn't come off for you, you won't be chucked out, you'll get a fair few more goes. Rocks back to play the one out to mid-wicket for a single. There's a fielder out there. It's Josh Little. Can't get it past him because it goes straight to him, so it's just one more. Sees England to 90 for 2. 2 balls remaining. The 12th over. Singh is sent out deep here now to the long off boundary for McBride. Coming into Bairstow. Where's that gone? Racing along the ground. Oh, that's terrific. It's amazing, that shot, because I really was looking for it over mid-wicket somewhere, and he's hammered it straight past the bowlers, straight past the stumps at the other end. And when we say these shots, these balls are travelling, that really is travelling. And it's a 4 and it's 94 for 2. Bairstow is in the mood. 63 not out. Turns it on to the onside to mid-wicket at the end of that over. What's that now? 15 fours and 2 sixes in the innings, and how many of those has Bairstow got? 10 fours and 2 sixes. 63 not out. Banton's on 11. 94 for 2 after 12. Need another 119 from 228 deliveries. That was some shot again.
Yeah. Do you know what it seems like? It seems like Johnny Bairstow's watched his dismissal back from the first game where he was out LBW to McBride, just prodding forward, and thought, yeah, that's not happening again. I'm not going to let Andy McBride just bowl at me here. He's walloped that down the ground. Both mid-on and mid-off were back on the fence, but he didn't mind, so he just hit it straight at the sight screen like a tracer bullet down the ground.
Camphor needs to make something special happen here again for Ireland. Banton plays a lovely shot out through mid-wicket. An attempted stop there, but it gets past the fielder, and it's going to take its time. Again, that was pretty quick, but slowed up quite a lot towards the boundary, but it gets there. It's a boundary for Banton. He moves to 15, and the score to 98 for 2 in the 13th over.
Teased the fielder there. Diving mid-wicket. Wasn't quite able to do the job, so the man from mid-on had to run round, but it looked like it might not get there, and he had to put in a full sprint, and it just beat him to the boundary. But a nice shot from Banton through the leg side.
Camphor in. Balls at LBW appeal. Has he got his man? LBW out. Well, it's taken him a few more balls this time, but he's dismissed Banton. LBW. It's Camphor again, and it's the third wicket down at 98 for 3. And Banton has gone for 15 off 15 balls. He doesn't bother taking a look at that a second time. He was on his way.
Camphor gets his man for the third time. His short career, full, really full. Banton playing across the line, looking to flick it to leg stump. It's in flush on the front pad. To me, looks like it's going to go on to hit leg stump. Johnny Bairstow obviously thought the same. No review taken from the Somerset batsman.
There was barely a conversation, was there?
Yeah, they didn't stop, did they? They obviously spoke whilst Banton was walking past Bairstow, and Bairstow obviously said, "Yeah, keep walking, pal." And
I think that's what he said. Or maybe just looked at him and sort of didn't catch his eye or something, as if to say, there's no point there.
Yeah, we disappointed Tom Banton. He's obviously been talked up a lot this last 12 months really, since he kind of burst onto the scene last summer with Somerset. Done brilliantly in T20 cricket, the Brisbane Heat. Played some amazing innings when we're commentating on a few of those Big Bash games. Hasn't quite found his feet at international level yet, especially in 50 over cricket, but lots of promise there.
What is it about Camphor? What are you seeing in this man? Obviously I can read out there that the stats and say, another half century, he's getting wickets. What is it you see in him as a cricketer?
Well, he gets the ball to move a bit. We saw the wicket of James Vince. That ball seemed back in, so he's moving the ball. The ball's what, 13, 14 overs old? What are we in now? 12 and a half, sorry. So ball's not brand new, but it's still finding a little bit. He attacks the stumps. He's got aggression. He's not a quick bowler, 82 to 84 miles an hour.
But he's not a big man.
No, skiddy bowler, you'd say. Not a tall man at all, but he's got that exuberance, doesn't he? He's fresh to international cricket. He's not worn down by it by any means. But certainly, as we keep talking about, he's been a great find for Ireland. Sam Billings has come to the crease now, fresh off a match-winning not-out performance, 67 not out, just a couple of days ago.
Indeed. He's come out to join Johnny Bairstow. Bairstow's 31 ball 63 at the other end, making it look like a different game at the moment. But those 3 wickets down now, 98 for 3 in the 13th over. And it's Camphor in again to Billings, pushed into the offside. No run. Wouldn't have had his chance the other night, Billings, if Denley had been fit, but he took the chance.
That's the way cricket goes, isn't it? It's a funny old sport. The same thing in the warm-up game for the Lions. Tom Banton was supposed to play, but he, for whatever reason, pulled out, and Phil Salt got to go, and Salt ended up getting 100. So you've got to take your opportunities when you get them.
Camphor in, bowls and pushed in front of square on the offside by Billings, and again that one flies along the ground. Will it get the better of the fielder? Oh, good attempt out there, diving, trying to pull the ball back, but sort of goes over the rope with it in some ways, or just in front of the fielder. So it's a boundary for Billings, and it takes the score on to 102 for 3. 2 balls left in this 13th over.
Yeah, look, that's a shot of a confident player there from Sam Billings. Just a punch, back foot punch through the offside, pierces the infield. Sweet timing out of the middle of that bat.
It also brings up the 100 for England, 102 for 3. 2 balls left of the 13th over. Comfort in again. Whip round the corner, but Singh's down there at long leg to take the ball. And it's a single for Billings. Moves on to 5. 103 for 3. The sun goes behind a cloud. And all of a sudden I can see what's going on.
I know, it's pretty... We're not in the best spot, are we, when there's a bit of sunshine?
We're not complaining.
No, of course.
We are really not complaining, but it does glare in here. And so, in an ideal world, it can pop out again in a couple of minutes.
Exactly.
Because it does make the ground look really special. The sun shining on this bowl, this wonderful cricketing venue. Just hold up in play as we just like changing the field. I mentioned Singh, sort of not really fine leg, but sort of more long leg, and he moves even squarer now on that onside. The Camphor in, bowls, and Bairstow hits it straight to him along the ground there. As you say, 1 run, and 13 overs gone, 104 for 3 after 13 overs. So you say, just sorry to be obsessed with this fella Camphor, but you can go then. I'll allow you to be dismissed first. But he doesn't look that intimidating, if you like, a physical specimen. He looks fairly well built, but he's quite small in stature. But another half century and only a second ODI. Some people talking about the fact here he is representing Ireland. He's never played a game of cricket in Ireland yet. His first game for Ireland in the full Irish team here in England at Southampton. And then he's bowling with figures now of 3 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 21. He's got rid of a couple of very important key players for England. And it looks like we're going to see a change in the bowling. Yeah, we'll see also change in the commentary box, because Vic Marks can tell us what he makes of proceedings so far in this innings. And then it'll be Ali Mitchell.
Well, it's all happening quickly. Runs galore, wickets. Johnny Bairstow thrashing a 50 in 21 balls. Camphor, you just can't keep him out of the limelight. Banton is his bunny. He's got him out 3 times, that much we know now. Twice in this series, and once for England under-19s against South Africa under-19s. The floodlights are on. Scarcely needed. I don't know, it might be another game where we don't really need the floodlights the way we're going. But this game has been a bit more entertaining. I mean, Bairstow has gone berserk. Played brilliantly, really, but a few risks early on, a few inside edges, but then a few glorious shots too. And he's just kept going. Now, whether he'll just be a bit more discreet now, a couple of wickets have fallen, we will see. Not necessarily.
Good evening, Vic.
Hello, Ellie.
Bright out there, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Bairstow has lit up this afternoon. Not that it really needed it, the sun glaring in. But here is Little in now to Bairstow. He's struck on the pads and the body. The ball coming back in. It's the first one he hasn't really seen. 104 for 3, 14th over. And when he reached his half century off 21 balls, it had us scurrying looking at the fastest hundreds all of a sudden. He's got a little way to go, but he's striking it far off 200 strike rate. 64 off 33. And the run rate required to win, well, 109 more needed off 221 balls. It's less than 3 and over, and Little is in now to Bairstow, lofting him down the ground, straight as you like. Couple of bounces and over the rope in front of us. Certainly saw that one cleanly.
Absolutely. He works on the principle. It's a damn good one in any sort of cricket, but if you hit it straight back over the bowler's head or right past his ankles, nowadays mid-off and mid-on, they're sometimes a bit wider. On this occasion, there's no one out, actually. There's lots of boundaries to be had there. And that was a beautifully controlled straight drive over the bowler's head. And I think they can do about that, really.
It's taken him on to 68, mid-off, mid-on, both up, and he's gone again. It's along the ground this time. That is sumptuous.
I think that's even better somehow. It was not quite so full. He just hit through the line, trusted the bounce. Really a length ball. Josh Little hadn't done a lot wrong there. He just swung through the line and it raced along the ground. Glorious shot. Well, keep your eye on that 100 figure.
I've got the list. So he's 72 off 35, at the 12th boundary, drilled along the ground, back past the stumps.
And just remind
46 balls is the record, held by Butler for England. A.B. de Villiers off 31 balls, so that's gone. Sorry, Johnny, that one's gone. He's on 72, Little in again, time over, he's gone for the same shot, hasn't quite got hold of it this time. A sliding stop, a sprawling stop by mid-off, and Bairstow goes through for the single. Disappointingly, 113 for 3. He's on to 73 off 36. He just came out in a belligerent sort of mood, didn't he? Seeing it early, climbed into the bowling from the off.
Yeah. Well, when the force is with him, I mean, no one hits it more cleanly. It's weird. Whether it's impacted on his method in Test cricket, I don't know. There's a bit of a correlation there, isn't there, with his ascent in one-day cricket and his decline in Test cricket.
Little in again, stroked up to mid-off by Billings. Lovely looking shot and a half stop. It saves a single, saves a run on the drive. He played a fine hand, didn't he, in the first game in partnership with Owen Morgan.
Well, he's renowned for playing spin well. I think that's partly why they took McBride off. To think that, well, Billings plays him well, Bairstow's playing it pretty well. Maybe we'll bowl pace at the new batsman.
Billings crouching over his bat again, one slip in place, left arm over, bouncer, and he's looking to pull it, bottom edges it into the ground, but it's running away down towards fine leg, jogging through for 1. It moves Billings on to 6. England have got the target under 100 now, 99 more needed off 216 balls. But the story, all eyes on Bairstow. So the list is at the end of the over, 14 gone, 114 for 3. Butler the fastest for England with 46 balls. Butler has the top 2 fastest, in fact, because he also hit a 50-ball 100 against Pakistan to the same opponents. The 50-ball 100 coming in 2019, the 46-ball 100 was 2015. Third on the list, do you remember Moeen against the West Indies at Bristol?
Yes.
Creamed it.
He said, I can't hit the ball out of the ground like the others, he said. He did about 7 or 8 sixes, I think.
It's 2017, the 100 coming off 53 balls. But Kampfer bowling to Sam Billings here with 2 slips in place. Short dark head, he really rushes in. Turned off the legs, past the square leg umpire for 4.
Well, I tell you what, Billings is in good nick at the moment. He can just hang in there. That's beautifully timed. He just, in the previous over, played a glorious cover drive to hit the fielder. He's desperate, understandably desperate, to get beyond being the extra batsman, the one who plays when something else has happened, when someone's got injured.
Yeah. He's spent a lot of time in England's squads, hasn't he, without really getting a settled place in the side. And let's face it, it's hard to get a place in the England side at full strength with Morgan, Butler, Stokes in the middle order. Kampfer in again, comes forward, defends this time. Ball on a length, back up the pitch, Kampfer picking up. No run. Shadows just starting to lengthen with the sun setting in the sky away to our right. Well, it's getting lower, not really setting yet, but there's an absolutely gorgeous sunset after the first game here. But looking at this list again, Vic Bairstow has 2 of the top 6 slots already. His fastest was 54 balls, tucking in behind Moeen. That was against Scotland.
So he was the 4th. He's already the 4th fastest.
Yes,
is he? Right.
For England. Morgan in the World Cup against Afghanistan, 57 balls. Kampfer in now to Billings, cuts back in inside edge, picked up by short mid wicket, no run attempted. The score remains 118 for 3, 95 more needed. Playing plenty of time for England to get the runs.
And his 50 was the second fastest after Butler.
That's right.
That Butler,
joint equal fastest with Morgan.
Oh, right, faster than
That's
the
right.
Butler one? Oh, Butler got a short 50k, 100 when he got his 100, is that right? I don't know, I'm confusing everyone now.
Campher's in once more, drop and run of the offside, declines the single. Thought about it, thought better of it.
Right.
But Bairstow owns 4 and 6 in terms of the fastest hundreds. Jos Buttler, though, owns 5 of England's top 10 fastest hundreds in ODI. That is quite something. He owns numbers 1 and 2. He also owns numbers 7, 8 and 10. Can you guess who the missing name is in that list that I've given you? Campher is in, driving again. Finally, they get beautifully through the covers, Billings. He'll come back for 2. Sliding stop in front of the rope. I think about a third, but the throw's coming in. And I think better of it. So it takes the score on to 120 for 3. One more ball to come in the 15th over. England needing 93 more. Billings 12 off 10.
Well,
talking a bit more, Victor.
I don't know the answer, but usually in these circumstances nowadays you just say Stokes and hope for the best.
It's actually Alex Hales.
Of course, the forgotten Alex Hales.
62 balls. Crushing it around Trent Bridge, wasn't it? And Campher, last ball of the over, and it's left alone. Haven't seen that much of late. Through to the keeper outside the off stump. 120 for 3 after 15 overs, and England, led by Bairstow, are eating into this target fast. The target set 213 to win. That after Ireland did bat through the 50 overs, 212 for 9, but they were 91 for 6 at one point. So it's the man who we just had bowling, Curtis Campher, again in only his second ODI after a half century on debut, followed it up with an even better 68 off 87, 8 fours in that time, and he's come on to bowl and he's snaffled 2 wickets as well.
He could. I don't suppose he will, but I expect they've got a man of the series, don't you? They always have a man of the series, don't they?
There must be. There will be.
Well, I bet you the man of the series has never been on the losing side 3 times.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Bairstow pulling one away. There's a fine leg. He makes some ground up to his left to field. And Josh Little scrapes away at the crease. Bairstow's moved on to 74. England 121 for 3. Bairstow's now 1 run away from 3,000 career runs in ODIs for England. You better get your notepad out again, Vic.
I know, I'm running out of ink.
If he gets another single then and moves beyond that, he'll join Joe Root as the fastest Englishman and be joint 5th in the all-time list alongside Gordon Greenwich, Gary Kirsten and Shikhar Dhawan. So he's right up there with the numbers. It's been hugely entertaining to watch. It's been a great riposte to the flow we saw from Camper. Billings latching quickly onto a ball, back of the length, pulling it with control past the square leg umpire, taking a gentle 1, finding the man in the deep. England 122 for 3, 91 more needed. Billings on to 13. Camper played all sorts of shots in his innings, didn't he? He was scooping, he reverse scooped.
That's right, just before the end. I mean, once again, he had to play in a fairly orthodox fashion throughout the bulk of his innings, but just at the end, last 5 overs, I remember, they brought third man up, so in the modern way, he routinely reverse swept someone over short third man.
Bairstow on 74, and this is the flying away down towards third man. Not sure they intended it to go there, but it does bring up 3,000 ODI runs for England for Johnny Bairstow. He moves on to 78, joint fastest Englishman to reach that landmark mark in ODIs alongside Joe Root. Well played, Bairstow. He's faced just 38 balls here in this innings, but his career, well, his average is up at 47 in one-day cricket, strike rate over 100, 12 50s, 9 centuries. He's got a chance for another one here.
Well, once he runs up the order, I mean, it's just been devastating, hasn't he? He's going to fail sometimes, but when he comes off, it's terrifying.
Little in, some width on, he has crashed it away. There is some cover on the deep cover boundary, but it's too well hit. That is sheer brute strength. Bairstow into the 80s. He's on 82 off just 39 balls. 130 for 3 in the 16th. It's on, Vic.
Well, we've got a game within a game here. Can he get England's fastest ever ODI century?
Do you think he knows what the number is?
Well, you would think not, but you never know with these players, you know. I think if Stuart Broad was in this position, he'd know.
Probably
no,
right.
I don't know. But people do use these things as targets quite legitimately.
Is he just in a zone now and hitting? There's a short one. Some pace taken off, perhaps. He's left it alone. Oh, it's a wide. It's a wide. It was a slower ball.
It was a slower ball bouncer. And he thought long and hard about it, and then he probably looked at the square leg umpire for guidance, and doesn't cheer Josh Little up, who only really wants to get to the end of this over. He's gone for 46 here so far, and he hasn't completed his 5th over yet.
Bairstow stands, bat held aloft in familiar fashion. Little is in, bouncer once more. He's gone for the pull and miss this time.
You can't
went
have a
through
way
the
for
shot.
that.
No, it was taken cleanly by the keeper, mind. But 11 runs off the over with one more ball to come. Bairstow 82 from 40 now, so each time, he hasn't had many plays and misses. I feel like I want to get a message out there to him. Every time you play and miss, Johnny, you're pulled further away. I think he's just concentrating on staying there. Seeing ball, hitting ball. 82 off 40 for him, and Little is in again. Some width, and he's got an edge and he's gone. Bairstow caught behind for 82 smashed runs of 41 balls. He's walking off. What an innings it's been. Tremendous entertainment, and he has set England well on their way to victory in this match. They're now 131 for 4.
Well, it was wide, and he threw himself at it without much moving his feet. And I think Little enjoyed that. I suspect Little sent him on his way. I bet.
It's quite a follow through, I know.
We can't hear that, but as Bairstow sent off towards the pavilion, he didn't exactly stop, but he turned round and looked piercingly in the direction of the celebrating bowler. But do bear in mind that he's just been hammered all around the edges, bowl Josh Little. And like any true fast bowler, passion's running high. He was very glad to see the back of Bairstow, who should have played the match-winning innings, barring something extraordinary happening. There's still 82 needed with 6 wickets in hand. It's a similar sort of equation to the other day, actually, when this pair, I think it's Morgan coming out now, calmly finished everything off. But stranger things have happened. 4 wickets have gone once again. So the upper order is not actually functioning smoothly for England at this stage. Jason Roy's yet to get runs. Banton has just flickered. Vince has just flickered. Bairstow's obviously played a substantial innings, if not a very long one. And it's now down to Morgan and Billings, and then we get into it's not the tail, but it's a run of batsmen who haven't played. And who don't really know whether we're in good nick or not. I guess Moen's the next one. Everyone's having a drink.
Yeah.
Morgan's come out and is looking very relaxed in his conversation with Billings. A little punch of the gloves. Play will resume shortly, but Ireland at least have managed to pick up wickets, and that, one assumes England will get there, but they sort of start to make inroads, Ireland. in this series, but then get swept away. That's the pattern so far. We'll see what happens this time. Billings has come out and looked in terrific nick so far, but Bairstow, two of all, and it was sort of routinely two of all. It's hard to combat, but in the end it was just a flat-footed swish. Maybe he did know that he had to hurry up to get those
maybe
three
we're talking
figures.
about it too much, Vic, weren't we?
Yeah, but he can't hear you. I don't think he's got his earpiece in.
Fortunately. Well, it gives us a moment while Morgan and Billings get settled, just to remind you what has happened, because Ireland did strike early in the very first over. Jason Roy went for a 3-ball duck inside the first over, caught Delaney off Young, and then second wicket down was Vince, one that seemed back in. Campher, middle stump out of the ground for 14. Banton was LBW Campher for 15, and then Bairstow caught behind off Little for 82 off 41. But it is Morgan who's the new batsman. However, it's Billings on strike, and he covers up, comes forward, plays the very straight bat, defending it back up the pitch to Campher, he's bowling from the pavilion end of the ground, the white turreted West Circus top pavilion. Campher 2 wickets already, and he's a very lively seamer. Stands stock still at the end of his mark before coming in now. Billings over his bat, has one gully in place, in the shape of Paul Stirling.
He's dropped it, I think.
Spilt by the keeper. I'm sure there was a nick. So running away down towards the boundary, towards the sight screen. Little picks up. And they've run 2.
Hang on, he's given
buys. There wasn't anything on it.
It must have moved late then. I'm just having a quick look on the replay if I can. But in which case he was very close to bowling him. It came past the inside edge, nipped back into Billings, who missed it, as did the keeper, who just got a glove on it to parry it. And buys given. But it seemed to move so much, I thought there must have been an inside edge.
I agree. I thought there was a deflection. But we'll get a closer look at that on replay, I'm sure. Billings is settling over his bat once again. Catcher at short mid-wicket as well. Campher in, and it's short mid-wicket indeed who fields. Turned into the leg side by Billings. Dot ball, 133 for 4. England needing 80 from 201 balls. Ireland need wickets. Actually, wouldn't put it past Campher to pick up another one. One of these two would be an absolute prize wicket, given the way they batted in the first game.
Yeah. Then we're in sort of unknown territory. It was I was going partly on the bowler's reaction, who looked sort of disappointed. He might have been bluffing us.
Giving away buys.
Shot.
Through the gap, well, that's got past short mid-wicket, and it's pinged away off the bat of Sam Billings all the way to the boundary for 4. His third boundary, 17 off 16. England now 76 away from the target, 200 balls remaining.
Well, it's full in length, and he's whipped it past mid-on, wide of mid-on.
Very neatly played, nicely timed. We've got gully, point cover, mid-off, mid-on, short mid-wicket. Campher in, defending, on off stump, coming forward, and no run. Trying to learn a little bit more about Curtis Campher. We know the family background, the fact that his mother has an Irish passport, due to the fact that his grandmother was born in Sligo. Hails from Johannesburg, went to St Peter's College, which is one of the exclusive private schools in Sandton. Played South Africa under-19s. We know he's got Tom Banton out a couple of times, make that 3 today. Campher in again, and has Billings coming forward, defending once more. So a few dot balls at the end of the over from Campher, control. 17 overs gone. England, though, still in control themselves, but you never know if there could be a little twist to come. 137 for 4, needing 76 more. They have 2 prime batsmen in Billings and Morgan at the crease. Morgan yet to face a ball.
Yes, they've got plenty of time, I think it's fair to say. And they should have enough wickets. They've got 6, but it's such a strange feeling that here we are on August the 1st, and everyone's got that early season doubt in their minds. I bet you Jason Roy's got that. He feels like it's April the 10th. This is a strange game. Things aren't quite clicking. And all the batsmen will feel like that until they get going, and then they might think, perhaps it's not April after all. Billings looks like it's August.
Morgan to face his first ball. Playing it back up the pitch to Little. Jason Roy's now made 2 ducks in 3 innings because he had a duck in the warm-up game. Word was he was suffering from a little bit of a stiff back at that point, but he's getting some time in the middle in that competitive match situation.
Way back in lockdown, I remember tuning into, I think, a Zoom meeting with Jason Roy.
Morgan yet to score, gets some whip, slashes away, caught at cover. The England captain has gone. Second ball without scoring. Jubilation for Josh Little. He's got rid of both Bairstow and Morgan now. There is a bit of a stutter here.
There certainly is.
England 137 for 5, needing another 76.
Well, no. It was a short ball. He's been banging the ball in quite a lot, Josh Little. He gets a bit of bounce. He's sturdy. And it's a bit close to Morgan's body, but he went for the cut. He middled it. And he, however, hit it in the air, just in front of a sort of man at square extra cover in front of square, straight to him, and then couldn't quite believe what he'd done, and then left. So we do have a game on for a while now. Moen's coming in. Well, who knows what Moen's going to do? We never do. We don't know what sort of nicks he's in. And after Moen, there come a stream of little all-rounders like Willie and there's no Tom Curran this match, which bolsters the batting. I don't think Topley's batting is on the level of Tom Curran. Anyway, you're going to go.
Well, I'm going to tell you first of all, of course, it was Campher who caught it because you can't keep him out of this match.
Well spotted.
Vic, I'm making way. Kevin's coming in, so a few more thoughts from you.
So, we've all been sitting back here thinking, well, here's more of the same. All this Irish talk of decider is just pure blarney. Coming up on Tuesday. But 5 England wickets have gone now. 76, I think, still required for victory. And an England lower order who haven't played any competitive cricket for months. Moen just taking guard, vice-captain. Perhaps they're going to rise to the occasion.
Ali and Billings, and it's Moeen Ali facing at the moment defensively, pushes. That delivers from Little, back to the bowler, no run. Sun starting to fade away to our right-hand side. I say fade away, it's only come down a little, but still shining into the commentary box. As the floodlights look just a little silly at the moment, but there are shadows being cast off the pavilion and the Shane Warne stand away to the right. There's Little again, left arm into Moeen Ali, punched into the offside, no run.
In my professional life, this sort of juncture on a Saturday, that I feel a little bit uneasy for the people in the Scilly Isles, or the Orkneys, or those people who get the absolute first edition of the Sunday papers, which depends on a piece written at about 6 o'clock. And I gave them the distinct impression.
Little in and balls in the air. This could be another wicket. Moeen Ali, the keeper, goes chasing it. Can he take it? Yes. And Moeen Ali has gone. Good take by the keeper. Had to go a long, long way for that. It was up there for a long time as well. And Little gets another wicket. He's got a 3rd wicket. England have now lost 6 at 137 for 6. 1 ball remaining of the 18th over, and Moeen Ali has been caught by Tucker, having faced only 3 deliveries off the bowling of Little, and he's failed to score. 4. And those on the Isles of Scilly, don't take a blind bit of notice of the report you see tomorrow morning in your morning edition of The Guardian.
Well, it's the Observer.
Oh, sorry.
But
Of course.
Well, I left them with a distinct impression that it was a very, very good chance that England were going to win this game at something of a canter. Well, captain and vice-captain have both gone for ducks in the same over, both to short balls from Little. That was a better one, actually. The one that Morgan got, you thought, well, he's going to hit that for 4, crack it through the offside, but he didn't quite get on top of it. That was a bouncer. And Moen, things happen with Moen. They either work or they don't. But that was dug in. It got up to around about shoulder high, where it's getting dangerous. And he went for the sort of hook pull shot, but he was hurried, he was rushed, he was out of control, and the ball took the splice of the bat, and it was a fairly straightforward catch for Tucker. He had to run about 10 or 15 yards to his right, but the ball was up there for quite some time. And, well, it's 137 for 6. And the crowd would be on the edge of their seats were there one here.
Well, they could be on their edge of their seats wherever they're listening.
Yeah, exactly.
Gardens, living rooms, wherever it might be. Little in again, and that's past the off stump. It's David Willey who's come out to the mill. And that completes that over. And Josh Little, brought into the side because of injury. Barry McCarthy injured. He missed the first game. He's taken 3 for 46, 6 overs, 1 maiden. Now, of course, Josh Little announced himself against England and Malahide last May with 4 wickets. Yeah, it's actually very expensive in the warm-up match against the Lions in preparation for this series. And you just have to look at his celebration and his send-off really to Johnny Bairstow. That shows how sort of pumped up and keen to have another go at England here today. And he's proved very successful.
Well, he's got 3 vital wickets. Bairstow, Morgan, Moe, with barely a run being scored in between. And he's a modern sort of one-day bowler in that he's not really looking for containment. He just goes for the batsman. I'll tell you who he suddenly reminded me of, the way he's been bowling in the last couple overs, and that's Neil Wagner of New Zealand, who's a shortish, left-arm quickie, not express pace, but skids the ball on and causes a bit of havoc.
As passionate down the leg side. Does that take a little neck bowling to Willie? No. It's Craig Young who's bowling here now from the pavilion end. He's previously bowled 4 overs, taking 1 for 35. It was he who got rid of Jason Roy.
Well, there's a slip now in a gully. And the Irish suddenly in our earphones, I expect you can hear them at home. There's a lot more noise out there now.
It sounds like they've let a few spectators in. Is that sort of noise?
Well, no.
Just a few. Young in bowls and past the off stump through to the keeper.
Every dot ball's greeted with encouragement. It makes sense to me, he's brought back, I know Young got some tap early on, but he will be, well, the opening bowlers, more penetrating, got new batsmen in. He's not going to bore England out. I mean, there's so many overs, there's 31 overs left. They've got to get 4 wickets, so you might as well get your most attacking bowlers on.
That raise from David Willey and comes down sharpish defensively into the offside from Young. No run. Well, we have an interesting game in front of us. Still to bat after this, Rashid, Topley and Mahmood.
Well, we know Rashid can bat. I'm not so good on Mahmood, but I don't think he's in the sort of Tom Curran calibre. And I think Topley's number 11.
Young comes out of the shadows in to bowl now. A short ball which Willie ducks out of the way of. Willie didn't get a chance to go out the other day with bat in hand. He of course took 5 wickets on Thursday. Today 10 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 48. It can be very useful with the bat, and he's going to have to be here for England. 4 dot balls to start this over. Out of the way of what's the delay here? Checking on an no ball possibly with a...
Oh, good thinking. goes. Yeah, it's the one. No ball has been signalled. So it's a free hit.
Was one made it is.
We're just getting used to the new system,
Which is
the third umpire calling a no
can be
ball.
very useful with the bat. Let's take a look at it. Another delay in the game.
It's a tight one too. It's hard work being third umpire now.
I think that all of them have been called. They've been really, really tight. And the sort that, the on-field umpire is highly like this. Regardless of all this discussion goes on about whether they missed them anyway, but really, really tight calls if you're in real time looking at it, which is probably why the umpire, although we don't get to see them looking at it 2 or 3 times, I bet they are looking at it. Today it's Mike Burns, isn't it? And only on that second and third look can you be certain. Next delivery short, and he goes to hook that one away, very nearly getting a top edge through to the keeper. That was a free hit, of course.
Good pace there. That's scuttled through. The Irish are suddenly full of zip. The short ball attack has worked from the middle. 2 wickets like that. And that one scuttled through pretty quickly from Young. Keeper took it around about shoulder high.
Not so much a shadow now, but the sun has gone behind a cloud as Young comes in and pushed into the offside by David Willey. No run. There's a lot of cricket still to be played in terms of 188 deliveries. England leading 74, but that's 6 wickets down. And with a less than strong-looking tail end, not as strong as England often will put out in ODI cricket these days. So the pressure is upon England here. And Young bowls to Willey defensively. Has to push that back to the bowler. And no run. So we've had a no ball and a wide in this over. We've seen no runs off the bat. So David Willey remains not out. He's actually faced 6 deliveries, but I say we've had these extras. So should it be legal, there's 1 delivery left of this over. Tamal Mills is sitting alongside me here now, and it's driven. Oh, uppish, just out of the grasp. We would a sensational low catch out there at extra cover. It beats the man who can't get hold of it, and therefore it races past him all the way to the boundary, and it's a 4, and it sees the score move on to 143 for 6 after 19 overs with Billings on 17. England needs something special for him again tonight, as they got the other evening, and David Willey has moved on to 4 not out from 7 deliveries. Tamal Mills, well, it wasn't like this when you were last in that seat looking on, was it?
It wasn't. I've just popped back to my room for a little lay down and just to recharge the batteries, and I've come back and Ireland are in with a sniff. That ball there wasn't too far away from the diving fielder at cover. Should he have taken that, then yes, Ireland would be on top and favourites to win, but really big partnership this for England. Sam Billings, fresh off a match-winning knock just a couple of days ago, 17 not out, and David Willey, his first go of it with the bat of the summer.
3 for 46 for Little. Start of his 7th over. That's been punched straight to fielder at mid-off. No run. That's Simi Singh looking after matters there for the green of Ireland. Josh Little doing a terrific job for his team here.
Especially considering his first spell, we didn't bowl brilliantly at all. Johnny Bairstow really tucked into him, so to come back, take 3 huge wickets, fair play to him.
Doesn't have a long run up, left arm, comes over the wicket. A little punch into the offside from Billings, very clear in his instructions to David Willey at the other end.
Definitely got their tails up, haven't they, Ireland? You can hear them.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant, because they need something. They need something, don't they? Because as things stand, this is their international cricket of the summer, of the year.
I was going to say it's actually what's their plans after this series.
I think this is it, as things stand. So obviously another game to come on Tuesday. Little left arm bowls wide of the off stump and through to the keeper. No run. I don't know where people are perhaps listening to us travelling home, whether it be maybe some league cricketers still going home. I know, never mind the spectators not allowed into the grounds on a couple of venues at county cricket today because of the changes to the guidelines. in certain parts of England in the last 24 hours, but I know that's also affected some league cricket as well, in club cricket. Little in bowls and reaching for a very nearly getting a toe into the bat on that. Pressure upon England here in the form of Billings and Willie right now. But yeah, there are some leagues that got themselves going for a couple of weekends, and now, because in the wrong part of the country, they've had to sort of put hopefully just a temporary stop on things. Not so in Shropshire, my land of birth, so I want to say hello to Simon Palmer today, who plays for a little club called Bishop's Castle. He's taken 1,400 wickets, and today helped reduce the opposition Welsh pool to 7 for 5 at one point.
Jesus.
I think that was quite a quick afternoon game, all wrapped up 6 wickets, but Simon, or anybody knows Simon's listening, do pass on my best to him. I know he spends a bit of his time following England around as well, when it's possible. Next ball from Little, in bowls and widely off stump, through to the keeper. And England really having to be so cautious and careful here right now. Don't forget to see the highlights of what could turn out to be an extraordinary game. BBC One at 10 to 11 after match of the day. Obviously, if Ireland go on and win, and you're living there in Northern Ireland, it'll be put on before match of the day. No, it won't. But anyway, BBC One, 10 to 11. Little runs away from us again, past umpire Alex Wharf, driving it, and that's towards mid-on. Can't get it past the fielder again. That's Andrew Balbirnie, the Ireland captain. He must be very pleased with the way things are going, because what you definitely need out of a game for a skipper is it's all very well coming out into the media, and you're talking about the positives to take from it, but you want to be genuine, don't you, within your dressing room. And here there is something to sort of say, look, but they have been here before. They want to go on and finish this now if they can. It's still a very big challenge for them to do that, but they've pushed teams before in matches. They haven't been able to get over the line. Now they've managed to conjure this up from who knows where, really, because there's still a very modest target being chased down, but it's 70 from 180 deliveries still needed by England, with 4 wickets standing, 143 for 6.
Yeah, with a slightly longer tail than England are normally used to, with Saqib Mahmood and Reece Topley in at 10 and 11. No Tom Curran in the side today, so it does weaken the batting slightly.
Young continuing, pushed into the offside up towards mid-off. So you've got Young and Little here, knowing that if they can just get another wicket here, there's serious trouble for England in terms of holding their nerve.
Yeah, things will definitely start to get a little bit nervous again. Guys coming in down the order who haven't had any batting. Adil Rashid, obviously a very good batsman, but hasn't faced any meaningful deliveries this summer, so not exactly coming into it on the back of a load of runs.
Young in bowls, and David Willey, normally so aggressive, so attacking, David Willey, but he's got a cricketing brain as well. He knows that he's just got to take his time here.
Yeah, you read the situation, as we said, time's not the issue. If England bat out the overs, or obviously the majority of, they will win the game, so just got to get your eye in, don't go chasing anything too loose. The short ball's obviously been a ploy of the Irish bowlers the last few overs.
Young into Willie again, and there will be no run. Bairstow 82 from 41 deliveries. It looked to be that he was going to take England there himself. He had that sort of mindset. To send him packing. Gave Ireland the lifts, gave Little the lift, obviously. But now further wickets, given them even more hope. This is in the air, but it's going to be safe down towards fine leg. And if it does well, left arm throw, only 1 run. And just that piece of fielding and the look on his face.
A round of applause from his teammates.
Yeah.
Definitely a little bit of momentum of Ireland. He did well there, ran around to his left, sliding stop, straight pop back up to his feet, accurate throw, straight over the top of the stumps. Lots of round of applause, congratulations from his teammate. The Irish definitely just have a sniff here. Their tails are up.
It'd be terrific for the series.
Oh, brilliant. This is what you want from all, not just cricket, from all sport, isn't it? You want meaningful games, meaningful cricket. I know the new series that we're in makes everything meaningful.
Well, I was going to say, it's never mind the series. 10 points.
Exactly.
On the board. Level with England.
Yeah, you want a showdown, don't you? You want, in an ideal world, every single one of these 3-match series will go into the last game, wouldn't it? It'd be a one apiece and then a decider at the end.
2 balls left. Young in bowls of this over. This is to Billings. We'll try and steady things if he can. Stangles that down to third man for one more run. Target 213. England 145 for 6 with 1 ball left of the 21st over. So there's loads of time.
There is, as I said, the scoreboard and the overs, they aren't the issue here. It's just, can you hold your bottle, hold your nerve?
Young, last ball of the over. Willie will turn that onto the onside, and a good single. He'll keep the strike because he'll just pick up 1. And Young has bowled 6 overs, 1 for 43, 146 for 6 after 21 overs. 67 more needed, 174 balls. Tim Al Mills will say something very interesting. That is a guarantee. And then Michael McNamee will replace me in this chair.
Oh, no pressure, but yeah, England just need a quiet period here. Sure, that's not what you want to hear on the radio, but England just need a nice quiet spell. Just tick it over, no wickets lost. Sam Billings, David Willey. Billings coming in on the back of a match-winning not-out performance in the first ODI. David Willey currently 6 from 12. Just need to steady the ship a little bit, take a little bit of the wind out of the Irish sails.
Sorry? What was that, Tamal?
Depending on who you're supporting, of course.
My goodness me, it wasn't so long ago the Irish body language was dreadful and this match was heading only one way. Little is in. That's on the pads of the batsman. It's played out by Willie, square of the wicket, no run. There's a very low August sun away to our right. And long shadows across the ground. Is this going to be a famous evening for Irish cricket or another case of what might have been? There have been a few of those on Irish soil. Never on English soil, really, for Ireland against England. Left armed Little sees Willie deflect that ball away for a single behind the wicket. 1 more to the total, 147 for 6. Willie is 7 off 14 and Billings 18 off 26. Did you see that flurry of wickets coming? Because I didn't. I'm not sure the Irish team saw it, but
no, not many
people. It's a funny old game, Tamal, isn't it?
It is. That's why we love it. It can change. There's so many cricketing cliches, isn't there? 1 brings 2, bang bang, all those good things you hear on the club village green.
Little mightn't have been playing had McCarthy not pulled up in the last match. Of course, Billings mightn't have played on Thursday had Joe Denley not picked up an injury that's ruled him out of the series.
No, very true. But you've got to take your opportunities when they come about. That's what it's all about. Little looked like he hadn't taken his. He bowled pretty poorly with the new ball. Couple that with Johnny Bairstow playing some brilliant cricket at the top of the order, but he's come back really well, and that's what it's about. Especially in 50 over cricket, you're going to get chances to come back, especially as a strike bowler, opening bowler. Can you come back and make a difference? And Little definitely has done that.
The field is spread, watching now as Little is in on the off stump, pushed into the offside for a single by Billings. Every run now vital for England.
Look what have Ireland still got in the locker in terms of bowling resources. Camphor's obviously bowled really well today. He's bowled 5 overs.
Couldn't be that the golden arm, the golden boy comes back to win it. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Little is in. Defensively played back to the bowler by Willie.
Interesting, from Andy Balbirnie, we've only seen 4 bowlers today. We haven't seen the 5th bowler. They're obviously going to have to come on soon. You think it'll be the spin of Simi Singh. But Craig Young's bowled 6. This is Josh Little's 8th over. Luke Bryan's bowled 3. He was attacked by Johnny Bairstow. And Camphor 2 for 31 from his 5 so far.
Well, he has to bowl the wicket-taking bowlers. No point in containment. Little drops it short, and that's going to be 6 runs smashed away high into the stand. What a shot by Willie. He moves on to 13. Billings is 19. England 154 for 6.
That has gone a long way back. Short ball, as you said, banged in from Josh Little. It was a good short ball, up kind of shoulder head height, but David Willie's got all of that. Lifted it up and around the corner. Full flurry of the bat, and that's gone many a row back towards the second half of the tier, of the stand, sorry. Big 6, who leaves a bit more pressure and edges England closer to victory.
One of the biggest hits of the series so far, without a doubt, and just what Balbirnie and his men in green didn't want. I think that was the 8 off the over. And time is not an issue. Ireland need 4 more wickets. If they don't get 4 wickets, they're going to lose the match.
Yeah, and they've turned back to Kampfer. Spoke about it, he's got 5 overs.
It's 2 for 31.
Bowled really well so far to match his brilliant batting as well. Got the wickets of James Vince.
And it's Bunny Banton.
I know, 3 times now. Needs Billings now.
Here comes Kampfer. Billings dabs it down on the onside for an easy single. The man, the square leg, is back in the boundary. And it looks like a very distinctive build of Kevin O'Brien.
We were chatting earlier, I didn't know you'd be able to confirm, but after this series there's no scheduled cricket for Ireland?
Not in 2020 anyway. I think January possibly for the next match in the World Cup Super League, but January is a very, very long time away in the circumstances that we're currently living, Tamal.
It really is. That's a shame, and it puts a little bit more importance to these next 2 games when you know that these are your last 2 fixtures of the summer internationally.
There's a wide slip for Willie, but it's played on his legs and he sweeps that away behind square, where it's fielded well by Josh Little to cut it down to just a single. But every single is vital in these circumstances. Half an hour ago that wasn't the case. There was another single towards what looked like being an inevitable English victory. Could well still be the case. Just need 57 from 166 deliveries. Billings on strike. He's on 20. The star man of 2 days ago. Bat raised. Kampfer's in, just drifting onto the pads of Billings, and again he helps it on its way for a single on the leg side. Difficult to know where to bowl to Sam Billings when he's in this sort of form. His was the partnership that won the game on Thursday with Owen Morgan. With another duck at the hands of Josh Little for Morgan. Averages 76 up until today against Ireland. Flashing cut away by David Willey. He got a lot on that and he's got 4 runs. And maybe this game is starting to slip away again from Ireland.
Yeah, really attacking from David Willey. Lovely shot on the back foot. Just waits for it to come across him. Slaps it through the offside. Andy Balbirnie looking to attack. He's allowed 4 men outside of the 30-yard circle, but choosing only to use 3 in an effort to try and squeeze the English, the newer batsman. But Willey able to find the gap, and with no protection out on the boundary, that's a 4.
Another big hit from Willey. Over the top, crashing it through the covers. Brilliant from the man whose wickets have been a feature of this series, and now he's cashing in with a bat.
Yeah, another brilliant shot. This one, probably the pick of the 2. Again on the offside, the ball coming across him. Just stands still, hits it on the up, over the top of the man at cover. David Willey definitely has his iron now. He's 22 from 19. Looking to accelerate his and his team's innings. Kampfer coming around the wicket now.
Around the wicket to the left-handed Willey. Long shadows over the ground. Pushes that for a single. They should come back for 2. And there's 10 runs off 3 deliveries from Willey. And another twist of the kaleidoscope End of the 23rd over, 213 the victory target for England, 167 for 6. Billings is 21 off 30 and Willie is Billings is 21 off 30 and Willie is 24 off 20. Sometimes the numbers dance before my eyes, Tamal. And in this circumstance, I think I may be just getting a little bit excited.
Well, rightly so. There's plenty of action out there. We've had wickets. We've had some decent boundaries. The big 6 from Willie just a couple of overs ago. He certainly likes to get on with it. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of spin.
Andy McBride coming on at this hotel end.
Sam Billings took a liking to the spinners just a couple of days ago, getting the sweeps, reverse sweeps out, so I'm sure he'll look to employ that again today. Wicketkeeper, of course, plays all around the world in T20 competitions and the IPL, Big Bash and the like. Getting a run in the 50 over side today for England.
24 runs came off McBride's 3 overs so far. Man on the long on the boundary is short-haired Josh Little. Another man in the mid-wicket boundary as McBride is in. Slow right arm. Watchful shot from Sam Billings. And there you are. Andrew Sampson has told us the players who have scored a 50 and taken a wicket in each of their first 2 ODIs, there's only one, Curtis Campher. He's writing his own records. That's into the covers and fielded by Balbirnie, no run. And who would have guessed that again a lowish total has produced an exciting game in Southampton. That's driven straight, should be cut off by Little for the single, and is. Billings on to 22, England 168. 213, remember the target. Don't need to worry about deliveries left. They have so many in the tank. It's the wickets. It's that number of wickets, 6 at the moment. 4 more needed for Ireland. Can they conjure up some piece of magic or a little bit of good luck or an English mistake? The slip is in for Willie. And Balbirnie moves Josh Little slightly wider in the boundary in front of us. Willie in the back foot. Pokes it down into the ground. You might hear Scrah, that's the nickname of Andy McBride. Another good delivery from him. Patient defensive push forward. Comes from the little County Tyrone village of Donamana, famed for its cricketers, including my late father. Flicked off the pads by Willie for a single. At the end of the over, 169 for 6, Willie on 25, Billings on 22. My father passed away in April. He's a former president of Cricket Ireland. Was president the year that Bangalore happened and all that.
Oh.
So I'm wearing his Cricket Ireland cap in his memory.
Oh, brilliant.
And hopefully he might be watching another famous Irish victory from somewhere up there, somewhere near the sunshine and the clouds. It's going to be a tight finish. Hopefully the goals just might be on Ireland's side today.
Yeah, I think 1 wicket to 4 win the next kind of 5-10 runs. Just make it a little bit nervy. As I said, Adil Rashid due to come in next. So we're going to have another bit of spin. Simi Singh's going to come into the attack for the first time today.
This could be a key moment in the match, Tamal. Ireland can't really afford any double-digit overs in terms of runs given away or boundaries conceded. Simi Singh, the slow bowling from the far end.
Mid-on, mid-off, both up in the ring.
Inviting the big shot.
If there's either over or under pitch from Simi Singh, I fancy David Willey to have a real go at him down the ground.
Oh, it's nervy stuff. Singh right arm drifts it onto the pads of Willie, who's able to clip away the single. 170 for 6. England require 43 And they have 154 balls, the luxury of 154 balls to complete their win and win the series. Ireland to keep it alive have to get back on the wickets after that mad flurry not so long ago. Camphor's moved a little bit wider in the deep gully. It's forced out on the onside by Billings. Both batsmen know they can't afford to take wild chances. They don't have to take wild chances. They just have to bat the overs out and they'll win. Singh is in. Forced onto the back foot as Billings plays it back to the bowler. Tidy stuff so far from Simi Singh. Can he find a little bit of luck or magic? Down the track goes Billings behind square on the leg side. That's a chase for Paul Stirling. One more for England, 171 for 6. If only there were fans here, there wouldn't be a single soul leaving to get a drink or something to eat or go to the loo. They'd be holding on to see the climax of this match. Singh around the wicket to Willie. Simple push on the offside. End of the over. 2 off Singh's opening over. England 171 for 6 at the halfway stage. 25 overs gone. Willie's 26 off 26 and Billings 23 off 36.
Yeah, tidy start from Simi Singh, so you won't get into your spell. So no time for looseners, releasing any more pressure towards the Englishman. At the halfway mark of this innings, going to be McBride to continue, so spin from both ends. Just feel it'd be nice if Ireland had a little bit more variation in their spin ranks, a wrist spinner, a left arm spinner. Obviously operating with 2 orthodox right arm spinners at the moment.
We're currently checking the passports of the world, Tamal.
Find one in South Africa.
Quite difficult to do in lockdown. Billings down the track. He's going to get one for that, driving to the man coming in off the long on boundary, Josh Little.
How the Irish cupboard's looking, coming through, hearing of any up and comers coming through?
Well, it's tough at the minute. There doesn't seem to be a huge amount, but you know, there's been big changes in this senior team compared to even 18 months ago. I mean, the Irish panel didn't change an awful lot for a very long time. You could almost name 9 or 10 of the guaranteed starters, but Anno Domini catches up with everybody. That was a dot ball off McBride's second delivery. Was over. And a single dab down by Willie to short mid-wicket, where it's fielded and returned to McBride, the bowler. You've got to always be aware, Tamal, it is not a mass sport in Ireland.
Of course.
You know, it's behind association football, Gaelic football, and that's a bit of a gimme ball, and it's only going to yield 1 run. I think McBride knew he'd got away with that, dropped it short on the leg side, swung away for just a single, and if Billings had really caught that should have been 4 through mid-wicket. Got away with that one, McBride. He drops that one a little bit short to Willie, who carves that away for a beautiful 4. He didn't get away with that one, McBride. Willie waited for it and dispatched it.
Yeah, you can see he tried to bowl that one a bit quicker and a bit flatter. Rushed through his action, but ended up dragging it down. David Willey rocks back on it. There's that back foot slap through the offside that we've seen off the seam bowlers. This time off the spin of Andy McBride.
Partnership of 41 between this pair. Defensive push forward, fielded by the boot of Andy McBride. End of the 26th over. 7 off it. England 178 for 6. They need another 35, and it's slowly drifting back in England's favour, Simon.
Yes, similar situation to, was it last year with then Ben Foakes and Tom Curran saw the Englishman home over in Ireland.
That's right. There've been a few what might have beens in both Dublin and Belfast down through the years, and both 50 over and T20 versions of the white ball game. Simi Singh continuing with his second over from the pavilion end. Over 50% of the ground now in shadow. Billings back, driving that off the back foot for a single. Can't really say either of this pair have given much of an opportunity to the Irish. Played very sensibly.
Yeah, and it's encouraging for England. Obviously, after the wobble that we saw, quick wickets to fall in the middle with the likes of Owen Morgan and Moeen Ali. For David Willey just to join Sam Billings, settle the ship.
Singh is in. Willey steps back and drills it back to the bowler. I wonder if we're going to see Kevin O'Brien with ball in hand.
Looks like he's having a little limber up, doesn't
For
it?
the first time this series. He's the old golden arm, the original one for Ireland.
Makes you think Ireland would just be wishing they had another 30 on the board, another 35.
Wishing that on Thursday. Fourth ball of Singh's second over. Willey down the track to smother it. Lovely evening here in Southampton with a little bit of rain during the morning. It's turned into a very pleasant night. Singh bowling wide from the crease, and again just a defensive push by Willey on the onside. We're going to have a change in the summariser's chair. The Singh is in once more, and again Willey in defensive mode pushes it down the track. And at the end of the 27th over, England need 34 more. Willey is 31 off 35, Billings 26 off 39, England 179 for 6. And Lorcan Tucker, the wicketkeeper, has returned his helmet. I think maybe one of the Irish replacements, substitutes, possibly William Porterfield, but we're going to see Craig Young coming back from this hotel end. 6 overs so far, no maidens, 1 for 43 from Young. That wicket of Jason Roy, poor shot, not a great delivery from Young, but it got a wicket with the third ball of England's innings as he scooped it into the hands of the diving Gareth Delaney. And still Ireland need these 4 wickets, and this is a very productive partnership for England. Young, 44 on his back, straight delivery driven to Simi Singh at mid-off. They're inviting Billings to go for the big shot. No man back on the straight boundary. Very attacking field for Ireland at this stage of the game. Trying to induce that mistake. Paul Stirling waiting at slip. Should that ball fly off the edge of Sam Billings' bat. Young is in. Driven on the onside by Billings. They'll certainly come back for the second. The chase is on for Simi Singh, who stops it. England advance to 181 for 6. Been joined by Michael Carberry.
Hello, Mikey. How are you, mate?
I was very well about 20 minutes ago, and I'm back down a little bit of a slump now.
It's gone a little bit wrong.
It's a seesaw of a match, this one, Carbs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Young is into Billings on the onside, pushed the man at short mid-wicket, prowling in there. It looks to be the short-haired Josh Little. No run.
But something to cheer you up, mate. The Arsenal won. How goes that?
Oh!
We've got some silverware.
You've got to put your fingers in your ears, listeners. You didn't hear that.
Commiseration to any Tottenham fans. Another win this season.
Oh, I can't stop him. I'm sorry. He's out of control. If you were hoping not to hear the score or the result of the FA Cup final, I'm very sorry. Oh, it's a lovely drive for 4 runs by Sam Billings on the onside. Lent into that. Oh, that was a gorgeous shot. 4 more for England, 4 more for Billings.
Great shot from Sam Billings. Very mature knock from him so far. He's read the situation well again. He's come in, played that crucial knock for England, and unfortunately I think any momentum that Ireland built up there with those cluster of 3 wickets, it seems to have ebbed away.
Yeah, the momentum is definitely swinging back to the man, and the World Cup winning outfit of sky blue with those sort of 1992 flashes on the shoulder. It's a lovely jersey.
Yeah.
Young is into Billings, drops it short. Billings thinks better than trying to hit it, and it balloons into the waiting gloves of Lorcan Tucker. I'm sure that shirt sold many thousands of editions, both last year and this year. One of the most memorable, certainly England one-day outfits, harking back to 1992 and all that.
I was a young boy watching that on TV.
Oh, that was a great tournament. Final ball, the over smashed away, but just the single for Sam Billings to mid-wicket. England move on to 186 for 6 at the end of the 28th over. Billings on 33, Willie is on 31, and to describe either a glorious English victory or amazing Irish comeback yet again, after further thoughts from Michael Carberry, we'll hear from Ishaq Guha.
Yeah, very good from Sam Billings again. Really pleased for him. He's had a bit of a layoff from the game, and he's come back and he's looked in great touch so far, and has actually been a crucial member to this England lineup in his short series against Ireland. He's played 2 crucial knocks here, and hopefully now he can just steer England home without any more emergencies or alarms.
Isn't it? But I think this is the best I've ever seen Sam Billings bat.
Yeah, he's he's always been a very talented player. Can play all around the ground, all around the wicket. But he's really shown another side to his game in these 2 games so far, that he's prepared to shoulder responsibility.
Josh Little has picked up 3 wickets so far in this game. Will continue. He bowls to Billings, who's defending to the offside, no run. 27 required then for England. Plenty of time to do it in. We're only in the 29th over of this second innings, but these two have just weathered the storm, Billings and Willie, after 3 quick wickets, and Josh Little fired up, bowling some good lengths and the odd short ball. With Sam Billings, he's such a leg side dominant player, but it feels like every part of the ground has been attacked by him since that first game, as he drives not past cover, as he dives to collect it with his right hand. No run. And he looks just as assertive through the covers as he does on the leg side. Of course, those sweeps that he played in that last match highlighted his skills all round and his versatility, the ramp shot. But here, after getting off to a very good start, he had to rein it in and, like you say, play the mature knock alongside experienced player at the other end. And Willie, here comes Little again then, past the umpire, bowls Billings, guides past point down to third man, give that delivery around off stump.
I think from someone like Sam Billings, he's had a chance to go around the world, play some franchise cricket. I think that would have added to his education as a young batter. He's playing he's had a go in the IPL, he's had a go, I believe, in PSL and these tournaments now that are popping up around the world, and he's done quite well in those tournaments. So you can see the improvement is there to see.
I think it's also, when I say the best he's, I think it's also the calmest I've seen him, as Willie is at the crease and driving past cover for a single, goes to mid-off, who collects with his right hand and throws the ball in at the stumps, misses it, but they're 3 for 1 anyway, so 188 for 6, just 25 required here for England to win this second one-day international. Just really still at the crease. I've seen some innings in the IPL where, I think it was a few years back, where he was just looking really frenetic and so eager to get off strike, but just in these last couple of games, it's looked really easy for him, as Little left armour comes in on angle bowls, and that's driven by Billings back to mid-on with some force again.
Yeah, it's a very good point you make, Isha. I have seen some changes in Sam Billings. It seems very, very still at the crease. Still as I've seen him for sure. Not moving around too much, just keeping that still head, picking up the line and length very quickly, and just playing good cricket shots.
Little shuffles forwards. Past the stumps, bowls. Billings drives uppishly past mid-off, and again showing lovely balance as that will go into the advertising smudge down at long off. And the two punch gloves in the middle, Willie and Billings, as Billings moves to 38. At the end of the over, it's 192 for 6. 21 overs remaining. Definitely won't need all of that because England need 21 from those remaining overs. And a partnership of 55 from 69 deliveries.
Look at that glorious shot, high elbow, full face through the line, as we alluded to earlier. That stillness at the crease, allowing that good balance, weight back into the ball. Glorious shot, looks in great form.
Lights are on here at the Ageas Bowl. Shadows have fallen across the ground as the sun starts to disappear behind the scoreboard. And Craig Young will continue from the Hilton end, bowling right arm. Slower ball to Willie, who guides it to mid-wicket, will push through and scamper through for 1 at the start of the over. He goes to 33, 193 for 6, just 20 now for England. Not only will it be a one-day win, but to add 10 points to the new Men's World Super League as qualification for the next World Cup in 2023 in India. It's India, the host nation, and 6 others that will qualify in that league. As Young runs away from us now to Billings, who pulls past mid-wicket out to deep square. Comes through for 1, and the throw is sent in. Goes to 39, 194 for 6, 19 more required.
Yeah, you really feel Ryan's almost on the wall here for Ireland. I think they've really got to go for broke now, trying to unsettle these two now, try and break a partnership, trying to get a wicket from somewhere. Need a bit of energy in the field. It's all gone a little bit flat.
No mid-on as Young comes in and bowls to Willie, who defends to extra cover, no run. He's got a slip in position. Andrew Bell-Burney slotted Sterling in to that zone. And Little tosses the ball to Young. He bowled well after the early onslaught from Johnny Bairstow. Michael has...
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Johnny really just put back to ball.
He was terrorising the bowlers as Young bowls now to Willie, who misses one through to the keeper. Does he get him? Looks to pull it to the leg side. There was a half appeal from Ireland, but Alex Wharf unmoved, and they're not going to go for a review. Just a back of a length delivery. He looks to swivel, pull it out to deep mid-wicket. Willie.
Just have to be careful here, England. The job's not done yet. You don't. Last thing you want to do now is undo the good work that these two have built up over the last couple of overs. One mistake now brings Ireland very much back into this.
David Willey, open stance, a left-hander as Young bowls. Willie drives, goes down to third man with an open face as he comes through for 1. 18 more required. One more ball left of this over. 195 for 6. We're into the 30th over if you're just tuning in. Ireland making 212 in the first innings after they were in deep trouble once more. 91 for 6 they were before Curtis Campher came to the middle once again and saw his side out of a bit of trouble to get up to that total. In reply, England was so dominant before a flurry of wickets. Young bowls short to Billings, who pulls with lots of power again out to deep square, gets right on top of it and uses his wrists to keep it down as he comes through for another one. At the end of the over, it's 196 for 6 then. England need 17 more runs for victory here at the Ageas Bowl in the second one-day international against Ireland. Billings to 40, Willie on 34 and a partnership worth 59. Shoulders slumping again for Ireland. And green kit, almost blending in with the grass as we look at it. And this will be the last throw of the dice, you feel. Josh Little in his 9th over. He's brought his economy down. It was up around 10s and over for the first 4 overs.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same problem for Ireland, really, isn't it? It's lack of runs from that top order again, which led to such a small total.
Little bowling the final over from the pavilion end. He bowls, and Billings misses one outside the off stump. A good leg delivery. He was looking to cut that man up at deep cover. So men inside the ring in front of square on the offside, and man down at third man. He's got 2 men back on the leg side. He has used that short ball to good effect. As Billings taps his bat down, still at the crease, slightly open to the left armour, who bowls, dabs to the offside, looks to set off, but sent back by Willie.
Yeah, it's an interesting field Josh Little's got here. He's considering the state of the game. I think you've got to roll the dice here. Probably lose one of these guys in the ring, put him in a catching play, maybe a slip, something catching offside. Just entice Billings. Got to change it up. Got to try and force the mistake. 1 wicket could open it up here.
Shuffles forwards, does Little past the umpire, bowls. Billings again just pats it to the offside to Point, who steams in and underarms it to the stumps. Sterling doing the backup work. So how are you going to celebrate tonight?
I'm thinking, on a day like this, it'd be lovely to have another little three rounds of golf, wouldn't it? I'll rectify my very bad first tee shot.
3 rounds or 3 holes?
Before it gets started.
I thought you did all right. It was your first go in, 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
There's little bowls to Billings, who carves, and a good effort from Point, who dives to stop the ball. They almost come through for 1, but again, meet in the middle and sent back is Billings. Throw now coming in is 4 dot balls from Little, as cover now goes out to the boundary. So he's got a 1 there if he wants it, Billings. Arms pumping from Little. Long strides, bowls. Billings drives to mid-on, no run. Good over.
Interesting employ, sending the man back at this stage. I would have thought, what would you want to let Sam Billings tick over? I think at this stage you've got to keep the fielders up, as I say, roll the dice, get another catcher in. If Sam Billings sticks along, they've got ample time to win this game. So you've got to try and attack here, I think.
Well, he has just brought that man back up again into the circle from deep cover. Little comes through, Billings drives to extra cover, and no run. It's a maiden over from Little to finish things off. 3 for 60 from his 10 overs, including 3 maidens. He's brought himself right back into it after 4 wickets that he picked up against England last year at Malahide. Brought into the side for today's game after that injury to Barry McCarthy. And he's proved his worth eventually.
It's been an interesting day for Josh Little. Johnny Bairstow, he suffered some severe punishment early on, as most of the Irish bowlers did, but he's come back really, really well and picked up 3 good wickets. Almost got Ireland back in the game. And you feel that perhaps 30 to 50 more runs to play with might have been a more interesting game, but certainly he's done well. Has a happy knack of doing quite well against England.
Well, he's gambling here. Kevin O'Brien is coming into the attack. 17 more required for England. Just bowl his little seamers, his gentle seamers. Kevin O'Brien, who's running in now. In fact, it's not Kevin O'Brien. It did look like him. It's Craig Young continuing. Apologies.
You've done me there as well. What? And I've got glasses on.
Sorry about that. Anyone who's listening, including Ireland, you might have been wondering why he was bringing O'Brien into the attack. No, it will be Young to continue. As he's got a towel poking out the back of his trousers. Here he comes in, ambling in. Balls to Willie, who pulls out to the deep square boundary, and he's hit it up and into the stands at 6 rows back. Into the Colin Ingleby Mackenzie stand, and 6 for Willie as the 200 is brought up for England. 202 for 6 in the 32nd over. Willie to 40. He's caught up with Billings, who's also on 40 at the other end, and England need a further 11 runs.
Great shot from Willie again. You kind of felt he was sweating on that short one. He knew something was coming. Young has been testing the middle of the wicket for quite a few overs now, and just swivel pulled again to that short side. 10 rows back. Young's got to find a better length here.
Coming in on an angle, the right armour past the umpire to Willie, who's working it out to deep squares, push the single and settle for the 1 as the throw is sent in on the bounce. So just 10 more now. 203 for 6. Billings will resume the strike as Willie moves to 41. Simi Singh pushing in an extra cover to Billings.
Yeah, another slipping. Come on, be brave.
Ring offside field as Young approaches the crease. Ball short. Billings pulls with some velocity. That ball travels into the boundary. That is a lovely whip through as he scores another boundary. Goes to 44. 207 for 6, and just 6 more now.
Oof, that was a shot. He's got a lovely wrist, Sam Billings. He's one of those players. He's got a lovely flow of the bat when he's going well. Very almost Asian-like in his approach. Very, very flexible wrist. He just whipped that through square leg. Nobody moved.
Still at the crease now as he whips again past mid-wicket out to the deep mid-wicket boundary. Mid-off. Andrew Balbirnie there looks to cover the stumps as the throw is sent in from the man running out to the boundary. So just 4 more now.
1 hit away, aren't we?
1 hit away, yeah.
1 hit away.
And these two have played incredibly well. A partnership worth 72. Just a moment of panic after England lost 3 wickets in quick succession. And Young bowls short to Billings, who allows it to pass over his head. Signalled wide by umpire Wharf. So 3 now for England.
I think a little bit of red mist came through on that bounce after being dispatched 2 balls before.
82 miles an hour, that delivery from Young. As he pushes away again. Elbows moving side to side, bowls the slower ball outside the off stump. Billings drives to extra cover. Simi Singh with his bright green shoes to complete the green strip.
It's very snazzy these days.
It is.
Green shoes. Can you imagine in our day wearing green shoes?
Yeah, I wasn't as out there as that at the end of the over. England needing 3 more then. 210 for 6. Billings on 46. Willie on 41. And interesting to note, actually, Sam Billings in the field was wearing those bright blue spikes, whereas now when he's batting, he's got the white ones on.
Do you remember when it was cool to take your trainers and get them spiked?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, I usually had to because no one could ever do spikes that were small enough.
Is that right?
Yeah, until I was very fortunate to get a sponsorship. I don't think I'm allowed to mention their name, but they were getting them specially made, UK size 4.
All right.
Which was gratefully appreciated. Here comes Camphor, who bowls to Willie, who drives to extra cover. No run. If you're just tuning in then, England need 3 more runs to win this second one-day international here at the Ageas Bowl and register another 10 points in the Men's Super League. Camphor, who has been outstanding all day, bowled with a lot of energy. He's picked up 2 for 44 bowling in his 7th over, to add to a 50 in the first innings. Another man comes across to the offside, so an extra cover and a man at short cover as Willie pulls a short ball away to the leg side out to deep mid wicket. Deep square hasn't even seen it, as they'll push the 2 and they'll settle for that. So scores level now for the two teams, 212 on the board for England and just the one required. It was an interesting choice of delivery for a well-packed offside.
Yeah, they've got some of their tactics that I feel they haven't quite been in sync. Captain and bowler haven't quite been in sync with each other.
Well, here comes Kampfer again, steaming in. Ball short, Willie pulls, and this should go for 4. It does. So, to wrap up the game, David Willey has gone to 47. He's picked up 5 4s and 2 6s in that innings, alongside Billings on 46, and a partnership worth 79 to see England to victory. They win by 4 wickets after a little stumble in the middle. They've won convincingly in the end. Handshakes all rounds between the two teams, and the sun is starting to fade away behind the scoreboard. Lights are on here, and another comfortable one in the end. Michael?
Yeah, without his moments. Congratulations, obviously, to England on another series win, and Ireland left to ponder again. The batting lineup again didn't quite fire. They were caught in a little bit of a stick or twist situation, you felt, this morning, where obviously they went out hard in that first game, and today they almost were a little bit shotless, going at no more than 2.5 and over for the first 15 overs. So yeah, they'll have some thinking to do for that last game, whether they make some changes. But Kampfer again was the outstanding performance in their ranks. He's really impressed me in these 2 games. Johnny Bairstow, good to see him back in the runs, played beautifully. Such power, dominance, just what you expect from someone of his ability, and finished off nicely with that partnership between Willie and Billings, which was very well constructed.
Yeah, Johnny Bairstow got out of the blocks quickly, 82 or 41 deliveries. He almost got England's fastest century, but was eventually dismissed by Josh Little. A few more words from you, Michael, and then it will be Kevin Howells.
Yeah, I think Owen Morgan would be pleased that someone like Johnny Bairstow managed to spend some time at the crease. It's important, having had the lockdown for a few months, get these guys some game time in the middle, even though he missed out himself today. But thoroughly good performance from England, and another series win under the belt.
The only thing you didn't do there was actually come across and put my microphone in for me, Michael Carberry. You're not supposed to do that, but I need as much assistance as I can get, seemingly. It looks such a simple job to do, and it is. Anyway, there you are. The sun is starting to fade and set away to our right-hand side. Well, Ireland pushed England a lot harder today than they did in their first ODI. However, still looking back on it, England will believe that is quite a comfortable victory in the end. By 4 wickets, there were 17.3 overs left. Andrew Balbirnie earlier in the day winning the toss, deciding to bat first. Used pitch, but Ireland usually enjoyed chasing, but he thought bat first on this particular surface. Much better than the first ODI, because they were 28 for 5 on Thursday. But still, they took a little while to get going. Paul Stirling was out for just 12. Gareth Delaney ducked. There were 2 wickets to David Willey picking up where he left off from Thursday as well. Andrew Balbirnie, a 15. Kevin O'Brien, a 3. Very interesting that 21-year-old Harry Tector made 21. He'll feel a lot better for that. Again, we've seen Andy McBride with a useful 24, Simi Singh at 25. But again, it was the all-rounder, Curtis Kampfer, just his second ODI for Ireland, his second half-century, highest score today of 68, giving them a respectable total from their 50 overs, batting through the full 50. Murray, 212 for 9. David Willey picked up 2 for 48. Reece Topley back in an England shirt for the first time since 2016. Picked up the last wicket, giving 1 for 31. We had Saqib Mahmood with 2 for 45. Adil Rashid, 3 for 34. And that achieved a milestone for the spinner Adil Rashid, becoming the first spinner to reach 150 ODI wickets for England. So many congratulations to him. Again, amazing bowling really from Adil Rashid. But in that chase, off to a flying start, Jonny Bairstow eventually out for 82 of 41 deliveries. Again, a couple of milestones for Bairstow. I'll mention those in a few moments' time. But he really did look to be putting England in a very strong position, racing along to that target, despite the loss of Jason Roy without scoring. Vince just 16, Banton 15, another couple of ducks this time for Owen Morgan and Moeen Ali as well. And at that stage, after Jonny Bairstow was out for those 82 runs, some serious questions being asked of England. There were 137
fast, tornado or not.
And there's 4 more. Much in the same fashion that Trescothick has peppered that cover boundary all morning.
With ease. This time at Strauss.
Don't want to bowl there too often to Andrew Strauss. 50 up for England. There he goes. Really good stroke from Strauss in more ways than one. Not just that he executed the stroke very well, but it sends a signal.
Oh, that's a terrific hit. Goodness me. That's as good as anything that he's played. My goodness.
That's the slider, and well driven by Trescothick. And that couple brings up a very nice half-century for the Somerset man. Nothing better than that played by Andrew Strauss have we seen this morning. 4 more. 100 up. 100 partnership between these two left-handers.
Until that very moment. And what a wonderful change of pace that was. That's the real art of leg spinning. A really quick delivery.
Beautiful stroke, the best of the lot.
In an exceptionally strong position at lunch, 132 for 1, and the weather improving. Lovely for batting.
Gorgeous shot. Now that's footwork, that's quality, and that's class.
A little outside edge on 90, walks. So finally, Australia get their second wicket. It's been a long haul, it's been hard work. We're only into the second session, but they'll feel like they've been out there for a whole lot longer than that. That'll do. Whoa, that's probably a little bit of nervous energy that's allowed him to launch into that.
Out, 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 out. No doubt at all about that. That was a forward shot, but not really a convincing. Didn't really play at it confidently. And that's beautifully bowled because it left the batsman.
Well, this is the time for Australia. They can turn things around. They've got new batsmen coming to the crease. They can really attack. Now then, there is a man down the fence. It is close to the fence. Brett Lee has got it. That was by no means an easy catch. It was swirling around, and so was he for that matter. And finally, he's got himself in a position to take it. Not quite what captain ordered.
It was a fantastic catch. It was up there for a long time. It was downwind. It looked for a second as if it was going for 6.
Enough said. Always lovely to see the ball hit off the back foot through extra cover. Stroke of a top-class player. Gee. Good punchy hit that. Oh my goodness me.
And again, and he doesn't know where that is, but it's gone for 4, it's gone for 6. Well, he tucked his head in.
Oh, that's a few. Don't worry about that. No. Shane Warne shouted catch. There's a fella in the crowd stood up to try and get it.
And that's his arc century. That's beautifully played. It crashes into the boundary at cover. Andrew Flintoff, a lot's expected of him with bat and ball, and he's got the crowd here at Edgbaston on their feet. There's another bouncer, it's in the air, it's gone for 6, it's a big 6, it's gone back miles.
There were a few reasons why this was such a good partnership by Peterson and Flintoff, but foremost amongst them was the fact that they worked together so well for the first time.